Welcome in, everyone. I'm Dawn. And yes, this year I have three pieces of advice for you, three things that will really help you when working on your content, regardless of what platform you're on, what kind of content you're creating. These are general things that will help you no matter what the content is. So, the very first thing is creating a direction that you want to go with your content. You're going to hear this also called a niche or, creating a kind of set of goals, niches, all of those things. It's kind of the same idea, but for this, what I want you to do is think about it as you're creating your idea here and you're going to end up narrowing it down step by step to give you the direction that you're going to take for your content. Now, how far you want to narrow it down is completely up to you. The more that you do narrow it down and give yourself step by step directions on how to achieve the content you want, the easier it's going to be. And that's all part of planning and setting up for your content before you even start creating anything. For example, let's say you want to create content about food. You want to first pick what you are going to do with that food. Is it recipes? Is it making the food? How are you going to share about the food? Tasting the food. And once you have that initial big idea, then you can start breaking it down from there. So, for example, let's say you want to create a recipe blog. Once you have that initial idea, the next thing you would want to do is, well, you're going to have to create the blog itself. So that's one step. You're going to have to keep breaking it down further and further. How often will you post? How much time are you going to have to put in to that content to be able to post at the frequency that you want to be able to post? And then even further break it down, what recipes are you going to talk about in each of your posts? If you create a list of recipes, for example, that you want to make, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to be able to have those ideas ahead of time, and even makes it easy on things like going shopping to buy all of the ingredients, because a lot of those ingredients will likely be used across multiple recipes. And depending on what type of content you want to do, how does the formatting fit into that? I'll be doing a live stream with a Q&A portion on Monday, January 3rd at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, talking all about formats of content and how you can figure out which formats or which type of content fits which platforms. So if that's something that you're interested in, would love to have you subscribe to the channel and even give this video a thumbs up if this is something that's been helpful to you, so that other people can join in as well. But the issue is, if you don't have a plan or a direction that you want to take the content, what's going to end up happening is you're basically going to feel like you're wandering around, not knowing what you're doing. You might post inconsistently. You won't really know what it is that you want to do. And overall, it's going to probably lead to a couple of things like burnout, feeling like you're failing, or just people not being interested because you might be skipping around in your content too much. The second piece of advice, and this is a serious thing that happens, you have to believe that you are making content. There are so many times where I've heard other people saying, oh, I just do this on the side, or it's just a hobby, or I don't really do that, or they don't consider whatever they do as creating content. Whether it is good or bad, it's up to your expectations. All of those don't matter. If you are doing it, then you are creating content. And you have to believe that. Because if you don't believe that, then again, that's going to lead to the same kind of things. You're going to start to feel burnt out. You're going to feel like it doesn't matter. You might start to get imposter syndrome. And all of those are going to lead you more likely to fail or feel like you failed with your content. And tip number 3, we are looking here at constantly learning, improving. You just have to start. That's one important thing with creating content. But once you start, constantly learn with it, constantly grow. Now, what are a couple of ways that are the easiest to learn with content? Well, one of those is to look at other people's content. Look at things that are similar to yours and see what they're doing, and see if you can pick up a couple of things that they do that you aren't doing yet. Another great way is, depending on what kind of content you're doing, search on how to get better at certain aspects of that content. So, for example, if you are doing video formats, do some research on camera presence or speaking. Improve how you speak, the cadence of your speaking. If it's writing, such as a blog or an article that you're creating, try to improve your writing every time that you release an article. Look at things that are working for other blogs or other articles. Change up the length of your articles to see what kinds of lengths of article your audience really enjoys, and see if you can find various writing techniques to adjust those different lengths. But with so many different creators coming up with constant resources, there's always going to be something that you can find that can keep you learning. If you want to learn a variety of things, you can do that too. One thing that I did all throughout 2021 was constantly learned, and it made me not only a better content creator, but I think just a better person overall, because I really started to believe more in myself and have confidence in myself, which then led to an increase and just better content with everything that I was doing. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it helpful. Would love to hear what kinds of content you want to create in 2022, and what other kinds of things that you're looking for in advice for creating that content. Let me know in those comments below, and I hope that you have a wonderful start to your new year.